So the brand new iPad Air, the fourth generation, finally arrived at my doorstep today, and I've been super excited about unboxing this and reviewing it and comparing it to my 11-inch iPad Pro. I use that for mostly work, a little bit of play, but this new iPad Air has roughly the same design as that now, but it also has the A14 Bionic chip in it, and it's $200 less than the 11-inch iPad Pro. So I'm really excited about unboxing this, reviewing it, and comparing it to the iPad Pro. All right, so let's unbox this guy. Ooh, a little Hello Fresh #1 meal kit. Look at that. Isn't that nice? All right, let's get to the iPad Air here. Let's peel this off. Take off the shrink wrap here. All right, let's open this guy up. Ooh, and there you have it. Again, looks a lot like the iPad Pro 11-inch. Ooh, that's nice and light. You can see I went with the space gray here. All right, let's see what else you get here. Kind of your typical stuff here. The Apple manual, iPad Air. You get your USB-C adapter here, and then the USB power cord. I really would wish that they would make these longer, but that's just me. Let's take this off here. And I really do love the space gray look. Here's the volume buttons. There's the new enormous power button, sleep button that has the Touch ID in it. And I will compare that to the iPad Pro 11-inch to see, but that is a lot bigger. All right, let's turn this on, set it up, and do some review. All right, so first impressions of this thing. I mean, it looks, feels, and acts exactly like my 2018 iPad Pro. I mean, there's really very subtle differences that, unless you had them side to side, you might not even notice. For instance, the bezels right here, the border, a little bit thicker on the iPad Air, which is why this is a 10.9-inch screen and not a 11-inch screen. I'm not sure why exactly they did that. Maybe to just give the iPad Pro a little bit more bang for its buck. But I mean, without the Face ID, you just have the front facing camera. This is not Face ID. I think you could probably slim up these bezels even more than what they are right now. Still, I think it looks great. And then the other subtle difference would be obviously the power button or the sleep button, much bigger. I think it's now glass because it has Touch ID inside of it, and a little bit different click to it. I really like the click. It has a nice feedback to it. A little bit easier to find when you're kind of searching for it up here. Even if you flipped it to the back, I mean, the camera looks the exact same. The smart pins are obviously in the same spot to connect it to accessories, logo, even the iPad right here is the exact same. So, and speaking of that Touch ID, it's been working very well for me in the first day I've been using it. I don't think it's ever not recognized my fingerprint so far. And you have a couple different options. You can press and keep it on there and it'll take you right in, or you can quick tap and you can see it says rest to open. Oops, let me go back here. Quick tap. You can see it says rest to open, or you can just look at the notifications right here. If you don't want to actually go into the iPad, you can just look at the notifications. So you can do that and then put your finger on it and then you're in. Also, like the iPad Pro, the iPad Air is now USB-C, which is very welcome for most people. You can do a lot more with USB-C. You can do more data transfers, faster charging, and that sort of thing. So a lot of people will like that this is now USB-C. Mine came with like a piece of tape or something around it. Not sure why that is, probably just peel that off. But you also now have the quad speakers, 2 on each side, like the iPad Pro. And these speakers are awesome. I'm no audiophile, but listening to music sounds great. Listening to TV shows or, playing content on this also sounds great. The 4 speakers give kind of a surround sound feeling to this. And then you can also connect Bluetooth headphones if you'd like, or if you have a USB-C connector for your headphones, you can connect it right into there. And this new display is gorgeous. Again, it has the 10.9-inch screen, has a resolution of 2360 by 1640, which gives it a 264 pixels per inch. It has the P3 wide color gamut, has true tone display, and it's fully laminated, so there's no air gap here. Everything you're touching is right on the screen. And what I'm really interested in is testing out this new A14 Bionic chip that's inside the iPad Air and comparing that to the A12X Bionic that's in the 2018 iPad Pro that I have to see how much faster this chip is. All right, so I can't really help myself. I have to try testing these things out. First thing I do want to notice, this is the iPad Air, 4th generation on this side. This is the 2018 iPad Pro, not the latest one. You can see here it's got just the one camera on it. In terms of width, the iPad Air is a little bit thicker, and you can see when they lay flat on a table that there is just a little bit more thickness right here on the iPad Air. Not super noticeable, but just want to point that out. The first thing I want to do, I have these both running on the latest iOS software, 14.1. I'm just going to turn these on, see which one boots up faster. Sorry for the fingerprints, I've been using these quite a bit. All right, so the Apple logo came on the iPad Pro first. And there's the iPad Pro that's turned on, and now the iPad Air is turned on. Second, maybe half a second difference there. All right, now before we get too far, the other major difference that I have to point out is that the iPad Pro lineup does have the Pro Motion. The iPad Air still does not have the Pro Motion. Basically, the Pro Motion is the 120 hertz refresh rate, meaning that as you scroll through things, it should refresh faster, making everything seem much quicker as you scroll. There are people out there that say that, once you use Pro Motion, you can't go back because it's that much better. I'm really not in that boat. I think Pro Motion is cool. It's great. Scrolling is fast, but this doesn't bother me. I mean, I still think this is quick and fast. It's definitely not as fast, but it doesn't bother me how quick this is. So, and the same thing with scrolling through web pages. You'll see here, this is just a little bit more smoother and clear when you scroll through. This is still smooth and clear. Like I said, it's not that huge of a difference to me. Some people think it is. So you just have to kind of decide if it's, a huge difference for you or not. All right, so I downloaded some of the same apps on both of these devices. Let's just open them up, see how they run, see how quick they are on each one of these, just to give you a feel of how quick each one of these are. So first one we will open is YouTube TV. 1, 2, 3. And that I did not press correctly, so let's try that again. 1, 2, 3. All right, that basically the same time they loaded up there. We'll just go through some of this stuff. Everything looks pretty much the same as I'm scrolling through here. Not much of a difference. Let's just tap on this quick.
Good Morning Football is presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Yeah, again, pretty much the same as you can scroll through these. We'll do one more here. Let's just do Bluey. Great show. Again, roughly the same. All right, the next one we're going to load up is Netflix. 1, 2, 3. Same kind of getting to the sign-in screen. Let's just open one of these up. A little bit faster getting to the content on the iPad Air. Let's play something.
This is a departure for NASA because this will be the first time that a real person, if you pardon me, will be allowed.
All right, let's try Disney Plus. 1, 2, 3. You can see about a second or two faster there on the iPad Air. Let's just scroll through some of this content. This should load up pretty fast on all of this. Everything scrolls really nice. All right, so I downloaded a game here so we can just see how fast it gets into the game and into gameplay. So I downloaded Jurassic World Alive, I believe here. So I've never used this game before, but let's just open it up. 1, 2, 3. Half second to a second faster getting in there on the iPad Air. Little bit of a hiccup on my part on selecting not now, but yeah, I think you can still see that this one, the iPad Air, was definitely faster getting into the gameplay. All right, let's open up LumaFusion here, which is a video editing software. 1, 2, 3. You can see there about 1 to 2 seconds faster on the iPad Air getting into LumaFusion. All right, let's check out maps really quick here. 1, 2, 3. About the same time. We'll just kind of scroll around here. You can see how quick these are. This one loads up extremely fast. Still really, really fast, but this one, I mean, there is no loading of the maps at all. I mean, everything's scrolling through here. Pretty amazing. All right, let's just try a speed test to see how they perform, the Wi-Fi chips perform on the same network. You can see here we got speed test, same server. Nope, we don't. We need to switch this server. US Center. All right, we are all set to go. We'll do the iPad Air first. $318 on the download, $550 on the upload. Let's do the iPad Pro now. So roughly the same here, 318, 304, 550, 559. Those differences are not going to make any noticeable difference when you're actually, doing things on these iPads. So roughly the same performance on the Wi-Fi card. When it comes to web browsing, both of these tablets are going to be able to handle any sort of web browsing you're going to throw at it. You could have tens, maybe hundreds of tabs open. You won't notice a slowdown at all. The only thing that you will notice is between these two is the ProMotion. So as you can see as I scroll through the iPad Pro, how quickly everything loads and how clear it is. The iPad Air does not have the ProMotion. You can kind of see it has a little bit of a blur to it. Again, to me, this isn't a huge deal and not even all that noticeable. But for some people, the ProMotion is going to be the way to go. All right, so I did just a very, very quick comparison between these two. Overall, the iPad Air does seem to be a little bit faster, a little snappier in loading apps, getting to things, and I'm sure playing games will be a little bit quicker. The processor, the A14 Bionic, is just going to be a little bit more faster, more optimized for the iOS software than the 2018 iPad Pro. The 2018 iPad Pro is still a great value, especially if you want Face ID or ProMotion. I think this is going to be still a really great tablet on iOS 14, and you can find this for pretty cheap, gently used or open box. But I have to say, I really like the iPad Air. I love Touch ID in the power button. I think it works very well. I love the new design, and it's $200 cheaper than the 2020 iPad Pro and has basically the same design. I mean, a little bit different, but if you can live without Face ID and ProMotion, I think this is probably the better buy. And I just think that a lot of people are going to buy this over the iPad Pro 11-inch. They tout the iPad Pro as a laptop replacement. You can do all your work on it. And for some people that is the case, but I think for a lot of people, they're still going to keep their laptops, but they still want this design. They still want a fast iPad. They want the capabilities to seamlessly switch from playing games or watching content to doing a little bit of work on there too. So, and I think that's exactly what this iPad Air is aimed towards. So we'll see. It'll be interesting what they do with the iPad Pro 11-inch, if they keep that the same form factor next year, or if they maybe bump up the screen size or do, you know, a different type of screen, maybe an OLED or the mini LED that they talked about. So it'll be interesting. But for now, I think this is the better buy. So I'm going to be doing a little bit more extensive review on this iPad Air. I'm going to put it through more paces, do a little bit more video editing, photo editing on here, just to see how it performs. But for now, I just wanted to do a quick comparison and just a quick overview of it for those of you thinking about getting it. Again, looks awesome, feels great, and I think it's at a great price point as well. So thanks for watching, guys. If you have any other questions about this right off the bat, leave them in the comments. I'll get to them. Try to get to every single one of them. Thank you again for watching, liking, subscribing. Catch you guys in the next video.